All right, so the purpose of this presentation is to share a small amount of the contributions the people of African descent have made to the field of mathematics. So when I was a student in school, I used to always wonder why there was never any information in the textbooks about Africa or about people of African descent. So I decided that once I graduated from college and began teaching, that I would do my own research and try to find out what I could. So I read books like Blacks in Science, Ancient and Modern, Mathematics in the Time of the Pharaohs, Africa Counts, African Fractals, and more recently, The Crest of the Peacock, The Non-European Roots of Mathematics. And what I found out was that for thousands of years, Africa was in the mainstream of mathematics history. Although all peoples and continents have played a role in the history of mathematics, the contributions of Africa are still unacknowledged by Western historians. We find mathematics in Africa when we look at number systems, counting, currency and exchange, mystical and spiritual beliefs, and art. So we'll start with the Ishango bone, which was discovered in the late 1950s by a Belgian archaeologist in the area of Congo. It was carbon dated to 25,000 years before the present era, making it the oldest mathematical artifact in the world. An examination of the markings on the bone show patterns of doubling, evidence of base 10 understanding, and even evidence of prime numbers. The ancient Egyptians also had a very interesting numeration system that was base 10 and it was additive. The symbols that you see represent all of the different powers of 10 that could be combined to create any number that you wanted to. The ancient Egyptians also had a very interesting method of multiplying by doubling. So if you want to multiply 7 by 13, you'd start with 1 and 13 and continue doubling until you got 7 in the one column and added up the other numbers, and that gave you the product of 7 and 13. Try it out. Ancient Egyptians also had their own system of measurement, including this very interesting measurement called the double Riemann, which was the length of the diagonal of a square whose side was 1 cubit, indicating an understanding of the Pythagorean theorem, before Pythagoras, right? The ancient Egyptians also had a very interesting method of solving equations of the first degree, known as the method of false position, or aha calculus. The Yoruba of Nigeria have a base 20 number system, and so you see the numbers 1 through 10, and then you have 10 plus 1, 10 plus 2, 10 plus 3, 10 plus 4, 10 plus 5, and then it switches to 20 minus 4, 20 minus 3, 20 minus 2, 20 minus 1. The number 35 was 2 20s minus 5. The number 43 was 2 20s plus 3. The number 48 was 3 20s minus 10 minus 2. The number 54 was 3 20s minus 10 plus 4. The Chokwe people of Angola create these beautiful sand drawings called LUSONA that are examples of Eulerian circuits because they begin and end at the same point and never trace over the same line twice. Now, this legacy continued in the Americas with people like Benjamin Banneker, who was a mathematician, laid out the plans for Washington, D.C., and created his own almanac where he did all of his own calculations. Less well known is Thomas Fuller, known as the Virginia Calculator. He was born in Africa and brought as a slave to the United States. Once upon being asked how many seconds were in a year and a half, he answered in about 2 minutes, 47,304,000. On being asked how many seconds old a man who was 70 years, 17 days, and 12 hours old, he answered 2,210,500,800. When told he was wrong, he said, "Master, you forgot to add the leap year." The first African-American to earn a PhD in mathematics was Elbert Francis Cox. He received his doctorate degree from Cornell University in 1925, and he was the head of the math department at Howard University for 32 years. The first African-American woman to get a PhD in mathematics was Euphemia Lofton Haynes. She earned her doctorate degree from Catholic University in 1943. She taught public schools in D.C. for 47 years and was the first woman to chair the D.C. School Board. So it's important that we share this information not only with African-American children, but with all children so that we can eliminate deficit views of African-American students in mathematics. Thank you very much.